Hey YouTube, Anna here. I'm here to do my 31 week bump date, and I'm going to show you my bump first. So, I don't know if you can see, here are my boxes and stuff for my online baby shower, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Whew. So, 31 weeks, there I am. I'm actually 31 weeks and 3 days pregnant, so yeah, it's kind of big and out there. Okay, so some symptoms that I've been having have been some stronger Braxton Hicks. We were walking around in the mall and I felt like I couldn't sort of keep up because they were really strong, and I had just one really intense one. And that was it. And it didn't feel like intense, like, oh my gosh, I'm going into labor. It was just more like, I feel like I can't walk as fast, and I feel kind of just uncomfortable. And it kind of feels like a Charlie horse, but in your stomach. And so I kind of want to like lean back. I've been peeing all the time. I know that's a little TMI, but whatever. Yeah, the other night I think I got up maybe 4 times. So, crazy, like not a normal amount. But I feel like it's just gearing me up for having a baby, waking up every couple hours, that kind of stuff. So yeah, my face has broken out and I'm wearing some makeup, so it's minimized right now. But I did change the moisturizer that I'm using, so it could be that. Also, I've been like crazy emotional lately, crying over everything. My dad actually asked me like how I'm feeling and how the baby's doing, and I started to tear up telling him I can't wait to meet her and hold her in my arms. And then it just sort of like dawned on me that's like 8 weeks away, so I'm really excited about that. So just a reminder, I'm going to lead into a different story, but my midwife last week on Monday told me that I do not have gestational diabetes, but she was sending me to a nutritional counselor for gestational diabetes just to talk about nutrition. And she's just like playing it cautiously, making sure that I'm eating healthy. That's it. So on Wednesday of last week, I went to see a nutritional counselor, and her name was Anna as well. And she was super duper aggressive. Immediately she was like, well, you're here because you have gestational diabetes. And I was like, oh, actually, my provider and we talked about it, and I don't actually have gestational diabetes. She just wants to play it cautiously, and since there's no box to check to say playing it cautiously, she said that there's an abnormal number after my 1 hour glucose test. So she's just referring me just to get information, not because I have it. And immediately the nutritional counselor got defensive. She's like, I am certified through the Diabetes Association of America. Your provider, I don't know her that well, but I'm sure she's qualified through the Gynecology Obstetrician Association of America. And so I'm looking at diabetics every day. I know what I'm talking about. You have gestational diabetes. And I was like, okay, yeah, interesting. Okay, so once she became super aggressive, I realized I wasn't going to get anywhere if I fought with her about it, or if I was like, no, and I walked out. Like, that's not going to get me anywhere. I still wanted to know the information and listen to her, so I did. And then she started contradicting herself, which she sort of like painted herself into a corner. She would say things like, your A1C is high. It was 5.5 when you first came in 2 months ago. And I was like, okay, well, what was it today? And she's like, it's 5.3. So it's good that it's low. It's good that it's low, you know, it's better. And then she brought out the brackets of information of what normal is, and then there's normal, pre-diabetic, diabetic. I have always been in the normal range. So even when she said it was high, it wasn't actually high, still in the normal range. Then when I had it done last Wednesday and it was a couple points lower, or like 0.3 or whatever lower, it was still within the normal range. So then she went through and said like, well, you have like the whole bracket of pre-diabetes to go through before it's actually considered a diabetic number. So I was like, why would you say it's high? Like, to get me all worried or worked up, or like, yeah, I do have gestational diabetes because it's high. It was super weird. Then she said, your ultrasounds, she had 2 ultrasounds that she was comparing, one in early December, like December 11th, and one in late January, January 28th. And so she said, your first ultrasound was in the 45th percentile, and then it jumped all the way to 60th percentile, your last ultrasound. So that's a huge jump over, you know, 2 months, 1.5 months, whatever. And that's a sign that you have gestational diabetes. And then she went on to explain that 45th percentile and 60th percentile are still completely normal for anybody growing a baby. Totally normal, within a normal range. Yeah. So she started contradicting herself pretty badly. Then, okay, so I have all my notes here. Then she said that since I have gestational diabetes, I probably will need to get ultrasounds every 2 weeks to make sure that the growth isn't going crazy. So she said, when you have gestational diabetes, the abdomen of the baby, so the body of the baby, is larger than the head. And that means you need a C-section. You're not going to be able to vaginally deliver the baby. And I started sort of trying to tell her, if you look at the ultrasounds, the baby's head has always been larger than the abdomen. Always. And the abdomen circumference has always been normal, like right on target for where I've been. So yeah, so I tried to tell her like, no, it's my baby has been within the normal range. It's had a larger head than the body, but that means it's a healthy baby. So she said, you need to be taking your blood sugar 4 times a day. Once when you wake up and you had nothing to eat, then 1 hour or 2 hours after every meal that you eat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She also said that she doesn't care about checking my blood sugar or even logging the information about the snacks that I have between meals. Which, if she's a diabetes educator, she should be worried about every single sugar that I put into my body. She should see that. So yeah, when she said that, I was kind of like, that's not, that's only looking at half the picture, because you have a snack between your breakfast, you have a snack between your lunch and dinner, and then you have a snack after your dinner. Like, you could be eating like crap. She doesn't care that I could eat cake in between every meal and be messing with my blood sugar or whatever, and she doesn't care about that. So I thought that was strange. I have been taking my blood sugar, and the only time that it's high is when I eat cereal. So I'm going to cut out cereal because I know that's not good. Anyway, I've been having like frosted shredded wheat type breakfast with soy milk, and it's still elevated even if I have like a smaller portion of it. So it's not worth it. It's yeah, it's really not worth it. So she said she started getting really like aggressive again, saying like, you need to be an advocate for yourself. And I really wanted to say to her, that's what I've been doing. And you keep arguing with me. I'm trying to advocate for myself. I'm actually pretty healthy. I am larger, yes, I get that, but I don't have diabetes, and I've been cleared by my doctor who deals with pregnant women all the time. So, yeah, I was really, really stressed out, and I am going to see my midwife on Monday and talk to her about just how stressful it was and how it's not something that I want to experience again, ever. And hopefully I will get that canceled. So next Wednesday I'm supposed to see the gestational diabetes counselor, and I'm gonna refuse. I can't put myself through that. It was helpful though to look at the nutrition side of things. I got a lot of information out of that. And it's good because my husband does the cooking mostly. He likes to cook and I enjoy eating. And so it got him thinking about, carbs and starches and all sorts of, proteins and fruits and vegetables, and we have changed our eating habits since seeing her. We've been having a lot more veggies on the plate and a lot less starches. So it's good. It's good that I saw her, but she definitely went about it in the complete wrong way. So that's my spiel about about my gestational diabetes counselor. She was crazy. Then I also wanted to say that I am having an online baby shower on March 30th, and Lisa Marie TTC has said something about that in her last video, or her last pregnancy update, which was really nice. But just to reiterate, you do not have to participate at all. I have presents here to open. I'm super excited that any of you wanted to participate at all. And but if you really want to contribute or participate and send me a gift, you can go to Amazon.com and then look up the baby registry of Anna, first name Anna, last name TTC Journey, all one word, and I'll link all that information in the description box down below. But yeah, so I'm super excited. March 30th, I'm gonna be super duper pregnant. I mean, bigger than I am now, and I feel like every day I'm just getting bigger. And then I actually had to go out and buy new bras last weekend. I have been wearing underwire like since I had boobs, and it's always been like the most supportive for me. But then I realized that like my rib cage, my rib area, the band part, was expanding because my belly's getting so much bigger that it's cutting into me. So I had these giant red marks underneath my boobs, and I needed something just soft cup, no underwire. And I actually went to Cacique, I think it's called, through Lane Bryant, and they were having like a President's Day sale. So I got 3 new bras, all like no underwire, and they're cute and comfortable, and I feel supported. So that's good, and they're 40% off, so that was also good. Okay, well, I think that's it for my 31-week update. I'm really sorry that this is super late, and I will try to get in a better rhythm next week. All right, bye, girls.